Mississippi. The big J45 Live Morning Show. We in the Prichard waterboard meet. Make sure y'all come on in, tune in, and bless that cash out. Yes, sir. How y'all doing? Dun, 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 dun. Come on a little bit. Look what we got. Back from the silk. Yeah, we have vibes. Boy, this boy here, it don't play. Hope we don't get up to that. You gotta turn upside down.
Turn upside down.
That's what she said. Hey, y'all hit that share button. Prichard waterboard meeting is about to begin. And by 5, there's some people coming in. We sitting in the audience with Big Head.
Y'all in for a show, so share.
Yeah, he listening to the
We
news
got
off his phone.
Councilwoman Anna Williams in the building.
Yep, just walked in the building. How you doing? So we in here, we finna find out what's going on.
How you doing, Councilwoman Williams?
Doing fine. How about yourself?
Might get a little ugly here, so share.
I don't know, they got sheriff deputies everywhere around here. They got one over there in the doorway. There you go.
We got a billboard right here.
Yeah. They're from fireworks. I just like police. Look at my wheel.
I think better not.
Might be. I think it is. But no, they're like a mobile badge to me. Let's try to zoom in.
Comments.
I'm about to say it like yet. Get that way.
Somebody said something.
There's somebody going to jail today.
Oh, I hope so.
What? I don't hope that. Bro, look just like his picture, don't it? Look just like his picture, don't it? His picture did not lie.
Someone up down that wire.
Yeah.
And
then look at the camera.
Yeah. That lady wearing the same thing she got in that
That big y'all J45. I want to show up in there. I don't want to go in there.
Let's get it started. You can do it.
Ruben said them people done look as old as the city of Prichard is.
Make that strong, huh? Yes, sir.
Especially him. He looked just like his picture, him.
Yeah, well, she got the same outfit. She
Him too, he got the same blue suit.
They get the chance. They're trying to show that they ain't got no clothes, so they gonna seem like they got out money. If you gonna leave,
They trying to show loyalty. Like they loyal to those clothes. Miss Bunch, you know where Miss Bunch stay at? Miss Bunch.
yeah, man.
Miss Jackie, we got to find you something else to do.
She probably
Come back to work for Mr.
Miss
Freeman.
Bunch, she know where Miss Bunch stay.
Miss who?
Bunch.
Hey,
I'm gonna go there.
Miss Bunch.
No, what district?
Park in the front, work in the back.
Which one? You know what district Miss Bunch stay in?
It's,
She said 3?
No, 4.
4. She said she's like,
Talk to me, hey. You look less than you
District 4.
Yeah, thank you. Are you doing okay? Here, we'll see. Maybe had surgery, I'm not sure. 3 or 4 weeks ago. Coy still?
How y'all doing, everybody? It's tuning in. We getting ready for the Prichard waterboard.
You see Miss Edwards
Well,
creeping while you sleeping.
Well.
She creeping.
Rest was there when I
No
was
cooking.
oh, I okay.
years ago.
I see you, Miss.
Yeah, man, that was his on there.
Yeah,
How you doing?
creeping.
He seems nicer.
Boy, you so
I
crazy.
see you. Don't act shy now, motherfucker.
I don't have that.
Act shy now.
That boy said you creeping.
They don't want to speak to the city council meeting. I see your memo. I'll put you out there. New J45. Old J45 coming back.
See, you don't want
Look
to
at it. I see you. I see you, Miss Edwards. I see you. You my 4 eyes.
You don't cuss your head back.
I wouldn't get it. That won't be the first time. Probably won't be the last. Let's get it started.
Yeah, let's get started.
Let's get it started.
Woo-ha.
I got you out in check.
Katie Davis is in the building.
They better pat these folks down. They better start patting these folks down.
Well, she ain't down in, I guess.
She pass out her literature.
Oh, this is good. What literature? The meeting is packed.
Yeah, ain't nothing but 10 shells in this mouth.
I know 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep. 10 jails.
That's why I came my ass at 3:45.
They're gonna put you out.
I wouldn't give a fuck.
Oh, okay. Well, don't get mad. How you doing, Ms. L? 45 Ms. L speaking this.
Hey, Miss Edwards. But you don't speak at us at city council meeting. You don't be speaking at the city council meeting.
He's old messing today.
No, I'm so for real. That's the agenda, y'all.
Oh, so there's another page to it, too.
Oh, yeah. It's a lot of shit. That's a lot of shit.
Jalapeno pepper.
Sweet potato.
No, jalapeno. Oh, it's bell peppers in here now.
That's a malnourished sweet potato.
Oh, you like?
Not. Who's there?
That's why I was putting y'all.
Jump
I
out,
was
sister.
putting the game.
Jump out girl.
I would have gave her my secret.
You're such a gentleman.
Cause I was hungry.
She keep it real in PA.
Yeah, she part of the Big John J45 live morning show.
Alright, y'all, that's from there.
Waterworks Sewer Board, City of Prichard, is called to order at its regularly scheduled meeting.
His voice tonight.
We would like to ask everyone if they would please turn off all their electronic devices as this is being recorded. Or put them on silent mute. And this time we're gonna ask, Director Moore, she will lead us in prayer.
I have a Father, please give us strength when we are weak, love when we feel forsaken, courage when we are afraid, wisdom when we are foolish, comfort when we are alone, hope when we feel rejected, and peace when we are in turmoil. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Amen. Roll call, Director Johnson.
Present.
Director Dahl. Here.
He said that proud as well.
Director Heidelberg.
Here.
Director Moore. Here. Director Bunch. Here. Consideration of a motion to accept and approve April 11, 2022 regular board meeting agenda as printed.
So moved. This is moved and properly seconded, we accept the agenda as printed. Are there any questions?
Yes, Chairman Oliver, I have a question. I emailed over to our operations manager, 3 items to be placed on the agenda within the time for them to be placed on the agenda. I have gone over the agenda several times just to make sure I was not overlooking it and that my eyes were not failing me. And that is the election, the motion, the election. Okay, I see it. Forgive me.
You forgive
I
me.
see it here. Gotcha.
Forgive me.
I want to add item 2 to the agenda. Send copy, you come and get these. You mind if I take a picture of the agenda?
What's the name of y'all, man?
Oh, okay.
Tell them we the Big John J45.
Yeah.
Good to meet you.
This item is, rules of conduct that we want to implement as how we conduct ourselves in the board meetings. And I'm gonna ask if, Mr. Ned, if you could put that directly before the election of officer. Are there any other questions?
Yes, will these be read aloud
Yes, we'll
so
get it
everyone
listed.
who did not receive this will be able to hear it?
We can get it read aloud.
Okay, your motion is to accept the rules of conduct to speak for the Prichard Water and Sewer Board.
Offer motion that we accept the rules of conduct to speak before the Prichard Water Board. Are there any questions?
Yes, I have a question. Operation manager, did you do these, rules? I see your name at the top. Is this what you came up with? You did not? Okay. So once again, our chairperson called herself vacant, we got coming before the board before the vote. This is one of the main reasons why I say every month, since I've been on this board, he's only one vote. I'm tired of walking in this door past a piece of paper for a vote. This is something should have been sent through, everything y'all sent to us through email, this should have been sent out through email so we could have went over it, found out what he was asking for, because as I state every month since I've been on this board past a year, I'm tired of walking through this door. Something's been given and asking for a vote.
Do you have anything on the issue on the rules of conduct?
I have an issue with the whole thing because it did not come before the board and you asked for a vote. That's the problem that I have. Please, I have asked over and over and over again. If there's something should have came through the agenda, which we got, this right here should have been the agenda so we could have went over it, that we would have knew when we was coming through this door for a vote. But as usual, our chairperson thinks he the whole shebang, the board, and he makes the decision to give us something that he wants to vote on today. And it's not right. Just like this right here should have been in the agenda, unless it's something that was coming directly from our operation manager. If this coming from a board, this should have been put in the agenda for a vote today. Not walking here and I'm handing something talking about vote. It's not right. And over, and I'm going to preach this because some reason it's not getting to you that you are not the board. You are chairperson, conducting the meeting. I'm tired of coming in here and you want to vote. This should have been gained to Ms. Janae or whoever sent out in the agenda. This is what you wanted to vote on. But no, as usual, you think you the board and you only one vote. And that's why I said I have asked, and the attorney know it, I have asked over and over and over again, if there's anything that you want to put in the agenda, put it in the agenda and we come in and be ready to vote. Not to hand me something then you want to vote. That's not right.
Okay, do you have any other questions on the,
I have a question.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Director Doyle, did this come from Water and Sewer Operations Manager Michael
He
McClintock?
just said he didn't. Could you repeat that answer, Mr. Martin?
That's why I didn't.
Okay, so this is, in other words, plagiarism. Because it clearly states here.
Your name is at the top of it.
It's just a letter, man.
No, the letterhead, this is our letterhead. This is the letterhead. This is something that's been typed up, that somebody put stuff on it, and at the very top of it, it said Prichard Water, Prichard Sewage, Operation Manager, and your name.
Excuse me, this is where I was going with that. Just a second, what Director Doyle said. This is something that takes board action. This is a new development. These are being put together. And so therefore, if it takes a board action, and this is just being presented to the board, for the board to vote on, then the board, consisting of all 5 directors, should have been in on the decision, the wording, and how the rules of conduct to speak before the Waterworks and Sewer Board of the city of Prichard should have been organized. And so I agree with Director Doyle, and this needs to be tabled until we can go through as a 5-member board and decide on the rules of conduct of speaking before the Waterworks and Sewer Board of the city of Prichard. Because again, our chairman, he makes the decisions, and I have voiced it several times also. Our attorney knows this. And then the 5-member board suffers the consequences. So I make the motion that the rules of conduct to speak before the Waterworks and Sewer Board of the city of Prichard, just like Ms. Janae pointed out, our letterhead, our logo, who has our board attorneys, all 5 board members with leadership, and our water and sewer operations manager listed, that we all come together, put this together, and then after that time, then we come and we bring it to a vote and vote on it up or down, and it can be executed appropriately. Now I'm gonna ask Attorney Ross to assist me with this motion.
Guess you make a motion to table.
And you can look at me, Attorney Ross,
No,
you
I'm
don't have
just
to
looking
look
at
at the chairman.
I guess you make a motion to table the consideration of the, I haven't seen it, whatever it's called. You would ask that this item not be placed on the agenda, you would carry it over to the next meeting. We all have a chance to review it. So perhaps on behalf of Mr. Johnson, a motion be made, your words, not mine, to table or not add the proposed rules of conduct to speak before the waterworks and sewer board city of Prichard to the next meeting, so everybody has a chance to review it. So that would be a suggested motion for you, so.
This moved in properly second, we table the, rules of conduct introduction for tonight. Are there any questions? Roll call, please.
Okay, we have two motions on the table. There's one on the table to accept and approve the agenda as printed.
We'll, stop this particular one here. Let's hold on. Mr. Johnson's, motion is on top of another motion that we have. So we should go ahead and proceed with that motion, and then we'll entertain his other motion.
Okay, so this is a roll call vote to, accept and approve April 11th, 2022 regular board meeting agenda as it's already printed. Director Johnson,
No.
Director Dole,
No.
Director Heidelberg,
Yes?
Director Moore,
Yes.
Director Bunch.
Yes.
Okay,
Okay, now,
and the next motion is to table the rules of conduct to speak before the waterworks and sewer board of the city of Prichard. And that roll call will be Director Johnson,
Yes.
Director Dole,
Yes.
Director Heidelberg,
no?
Director Moore,
Yes.
Director Bunch.
No.
So this would be on the next agenda.
Next time.
First item, election of new officers.
I make the motion
Second.
that Cherry Dole I make the motion that Director Ernestine Moore for Secretary Treasurer of Prichard Waterworks and Sewer Board.
Second.
Moved properly second that, Director Moore be considered appointed as the Secretary Treasurer of Prichard Sewer and Water. Is there any questions? Roll call, please.
Director Johnson,
Yes.
Director Dole,
Yes.
Director Heidelberg,
No?
Director Moore,
No.
Director Bunch,
No.
Is there any more nominations?
This is
I make the nomination that Cherry Dole, Director Cherry Dole, for Vice Chairman of Prichard Waterworks and Sewer Board.
Second.
It's moved and properly second that Director Cherry Doyle be appointed as the Vice Chairman of the Prichard Sewer and Water Board. Are there any questions?
Director Johnson,
Yes.
Director Dole,
Yes.
Director Heidelberg,
No.
Director Moore,
No.
Director Bunch,
No.
Are there any more nominations?
Yes. I'll make the motion that Director Johnson be nominated for chairperson.
Second.
This is moved and properly seconded. Director Johnson be nominated as chairperson of Prison Sewer and Water Board. There any questions? Roll call, please.
Director Johnson,
Yes.
Director Dole,
Yes.
Director Heidelberg,
No.
Director Moore,
No.
Director Bunch,
No.
Next slide.
Pension Board meeting. Item 1, status of minutes. Consideration of a motion to accept the minutes with necessary corrections, if any, for A, Pension Board meeting held Monday, March 14th, 2022.
So moved. Moved and properly seconded. It's been moved and properly seconded that we accept the, minutes of Prichard Pension Board on March 14th, 2023. Is there any questions? Roll call,
Did you
please.
steal the money?
Director Johnson,
Yes.
Director Dole,
Yes.
Director Heidelberg,
Yes.
Director Moore,
Yes.
Director Bunch,
Yes.
Item 2, consideration of a motion to accept the proposed amendments for the pension plan table from March 14, 2022 regular board meeting.
In the absence of a motion, we will consider this one to be a no vote. We will go on to the next item.
Item 3, if nothing further, motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Second. Moved and properly seconded, we adjourn the pension board meeting, move directly into our regular scheduled board meeting. Is there any questions? Roll call, please.
Director Johnson,
Yes.
Director Dole,
Yes.
Director Heidelberg,
Yes.
Director Moore,
Yes.
Director Bunch.
Yes.
Regular board meeting, item 1, presentation by Mr. Jeffrey Jones, rehabilitation of the Chickasaw filtration plant.
How y'all doing today? I just have a couple of questions. My name is Jeffrey Jones, on the board. In 1981, 82, I was employed by the board and worked at the Chickasaw filtration plant. And during that time, the plant operated 8 million gallons a day. And I was surprised a few weeks ago to learn that the plant had shut down. And board chairman, Mr. Heidelberg, can you tell me when the plant shut down?
It was shut down before I came on board. I don't know exactly.
Does anybody know why it was shut down?
I do.
Could you please tell me, sir?
Yes. The, ADM had the board at that time, they got into an agreement to close down one section of the plant and to rehab the other plant And during the interim, they were going to buy water from Mars. Shut it down. And then ADM or some other environmental agency declared 8 Mile Creek unsuitable for drinking water. That's where it is right now. That's why it's closed down, that's why it's still closed down.
You said ADM made the decision to close it down.
They declared the creek, 8 Mile Creek, not suitable for drinking water.
Yeah, because I've been investigating and reviewing this myself, and I found a document that I haven't brought with me because it's that ADM that there was a report made that Prichard Water couldn't provide fire protection to Sims, some fire hydrants in Sims. And further investigation, I contacted the EPA. All of this is public information, okay? It's not rocket science, but it's public information. It's available for the public at request. But I've been reviewing this shutdown of that treatment plant. As a matter of fact, that plant was built in 1917, I believe, and it operated as a water journal from 1938. It's been operating for many years out of Gum Creek. And having worked at that plant, the only contamination you would find would be that trucking operation that's washing these trucks out up off of 8 Mile Creek. And the reason I ask that because you're spending a lot of money. And that plant has served, Mobile gets about 90-something days a year of rain. And if you catch the mud, you're able to fill the various tanks that you have during those rainy spells at a much cheaper cost. The EPA is supposed to get back with me on what's in their records as to why it was shut down, and I'm going to be looking into it further because I think it should be up and operating out of 100. And in the article I saw, the only problem and concern was bacteriological growth, which the chlorine takes care of that. But I just wanted to talk with you and see what the problem is publicly, and I'll be getting back with you at the next meeting.
You might want to check with ADM about 8 Mile Creek while you're doing it.
Yes, sir, I will. I once held grade 4 water treatment license, and I remember he refused to let me renew my license at that time. They got some policy, and I drove all over the state trying to get a job with water treatment license. Couldn't find a surface water plant to work me or hire me or even renew my license. And when I spoke with them last week about renewing my license, they said that was 40 years ago. They couldn't find a record. I happen to have copies of them because it's a two-page test calculation. And I also sent copies of my patents that I've worked in these areas before. But I'm concerned about it as a citizen that owns property in Prichard. I'm very much concerned about the status of that plant.
I appreciate your concern. Let me check with ADM. You can get back with us and find out information from EPA and ADM.
All right, so I've already got one document that shows that it was a concern of fire protection and an inability to put the necessary electrical pumps that would supply emergency. And this was not even done by the Prichard Water Works, what surprised me. It was done by somebody in Chickasaw. And it really surprised me. It really, it's because this is causing unnecessary cost on the board.
I appreciate your time.
Mr. Jones, were you finished with your
Yes, sir, I will.
presentation? Because I definitely would like to hear more from you and, to collaborate with you as a board on the rehabbing of that Chickasaw filtration plant that is no longer operating. So thank you for coming out today.
And thank you all for the time that you've given.
Next item.
Item 2, presentation by Ms. Evelyn Patton concerning accounting system and record keeping.
Hey, Spat appears not to be here, so we will move on to the next item.
Item 3, status of minutes. Consideration of a motion to accept the minutes with necessary corrections, if any, for a regular board meeting held Monday, March 14th, 2022 at 4:30 p.m.
So moved.
I second.
Moved properly second, we accept item 3A as printed. Are there any questions? Roll call, please.
Director Johnson,
No.
Director Dole,
No.
Director Heidelberg,
Yes?
Director Moore,
Yes.
Director Blunt.
Yes.
Item 4, ratifications, there are none. Item 5, board reports updates. A, Director Johnson.
Yes, thank you, Ms. Janae. Mr. Ross, at our last board meeting, out of frustration and disrespect of the chairman, it was asked of you the duties, and if there were any statutory duties of the chairman, and you informed the board at that time that any authority that Chairman Heidelberg has is provided to him by the board, and that is something that I'm gonna ask that we decide on today as a board, because this has become redundant ever since April of last year. The disrespect of Chairman Heidelberg, and it just didn't start with him. This is a practice that I guess have been going on and just passed down from chairman to chairman to chairman to chairman. Been that way ever since I've been here, since August 2017. There are no specific statutory duties of the chairman. The chairman still decides, Chairman Heidelberg has still decided that he wants to do what he wants to do when he wants to do it, and then the board has to deal with the consequences. Whether it be causes of litigation, mismanagement of funds, embarrassment publicly.
I want to point out to Director Johnson that he is disparaging good name and character, which is not tolerated in the board. And so, in disciplinary action, he should go ahead and continue on another line. If he wants to continue talking.
Thank you, Chairman. So I'm making a motion that we as a 5-member board vote to limit Chairman Heidelberg's duties to ensuring the board meeting agenda is executed after it has been approved. After it has been approved by the 5-member board. So I make the motion.
Second. Will you state your motion again for me, please?
Yes. I make the motion that we as a 5-member board vote to limit Chairman Heidelberg's duties to ensuring the board meeting agenda is executed after it has been approved. Meaning that his only duty as a chairman is to make sure that this board agenda is executed after we have approved it each month, and that he is not to go out speaking, representing, and deciding what goes on at Prichard Waterworks and Sewer Board without including all 5 of us.
You got a motion? You can get a second?
Yeah, we got
I
to
think Ms. Doyle seconded. Ms. Doyle seconded.
Okay, it's been moved and properly second that, the board vote to limit the duties of the chairman to only approving the agenda. Are there any questions? Roll call, please.
Director Johnson,
That was not the motion, Ms. Janae. And I read it again, Chairman Halliburton. You have part of it right, I understand. This is a motion that the board limits the duties of Chairman Halliburton to ensuring that the meeting agenda is executed after it has been approved. So that you would run the meeting according to the agenda after it has been approved.
Before we move, the motion doesn't make any sense to me. I'm at a loss what he's trying to accomplish.
Well, what you read out was just, the motion that you gave to Ms. Janae was that you can only approve the agenda. And it takes all 5 of us to approve it. But you, as chairman, according to the bylaws, is that you are to preside over the meeting and make sure that this agenda is executed, meaning carried out the way that it is printed after we as a 5-member board approved it. Yes, ma'am.
I have a question, I'm confused.
Yes, ma'am.
He followed the agenda, but I'm confused when you say he's going out doing other things. How do we know that? I don't know.
Well, Director Moore, you have just arrived. There have been things that have been going on with the chairman that have been voiced before your first meeting on last month, the 14th, that myself and Director Doyle can speak for herself, have been dealing with and making requests that we all be included in decision making. You know, just like the rules that were set, you know, that we were supposed to vote on today, that takes board action. So anything that takes board action, all 5 board members need to be included on the decision making, the forming of it. Am I making myself clear? Do you understand what I'm talking about?
I guess.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. You just get here, no disrespect or anything like that, but that was the, the only way I could really put it. You hadn't been here to experience it just yet.
Okay, moving forward with Director Johnson's theory, he should not be presenting anything to go on the agenda now, because he had all week to present this to the board, to the agenda.
I have a
People
question.
make-
Come on with it.
And he did not do it, so I don't see why it should apply to one board member and not another board member.
I'm asking.
Approving the agenda at the beginning of the board meeting is in our bylaw. That's something he did. Now, we'll get back to,
No, I'm asking common consent of the board. And then as a board member, making the motion, I yield to Director Doyle.
Okay. As he made the statement just a minute ago, that Director Johnson can't put anything on the agenda. He just stuck this up there, so what's the difference? It didn't come through the way he wanted Director Johnson to come. So you could call Director Johnson's name, but I guess you think you got some type of privilege. Can't nobody call your name. So I don't mind you calling mine, cause I know what the name my mama gave me and the good Lord is saying. So why? It's okay for you to put some on the agenda, but it's not okay for the other members to put some on the agenda. Sound like it's a hypocrite to me. Because as I go back to this thing again, chairperson is one vote. And as the old folks say, well, good for the gander, good for the goose. If he can do it, he can do it. If he can do it, I can do it. It's no different. because we all sitting up here are directors. He's over the agenda. And that's it. But he can put something on the agenda, but the other members can't. He the one choose what goes on the agenda. But he just one vote. He's a director, just like we all are directors. So, what's the difference? He gonna sit here and tell Director Johnson what he can put on it? But he just did this? And it was just handed to us. So what's the difference?
Let's move on with the vote.
Director Johnson,
What's the motion, Mr. Chairman?
I'm sorry, motion to limit Chairman Heidelberg duties to ensure the meeting agenda is executed after it has been approved. Director Johnson,
Yes.
Director Dole,
Yes.
Director Heidelberg,
No.
Director Moore,
No.
Director Bunch,
Next item.
This is a bad meeting. One thing, they don't care.
item 5B,
And
Director
they just
Dole.
voted this clown up in there.
I would like to thank all our citizens that sit in the audience, our council ladies, especially to my husband, everybody sitting around the table. I'm gonna ask our operation manager for something that was tabled last month, but I see it's not on the agenda this month. Once again, he does what he wanna do, when he wanna do it, and how he wanna do it without bringing it to the board for a vote. That J&J truck thing, it was tabled. But I see it's not back on the agenda, so I'm asking you, operation manager, I would like to go out and see these trucks that's supposed to be still sitting on the lot because it was not voted to be sold. Tomorrow. Okay? And my other thing is, Director Moore, as my colleague stated before, last month meeting, that you could only vote for certain things before you came on the board. You signed a resolution that should have been signed by Director Davis, myself, Bunch, John, or Heidelberg. But you signed it. And you was not on the board during the time that work was done. And the reason why I'm saying no offense against you, because I was charged with the same thing that you have done. But they didn't have proof that I done it. But I got proof you done it.
What?
Because the Volvo, that big old home, same home we had, Swope was our operation manager at the time, and Ron Davis sitting right there where you sit. You signed for those people to be paid. When I know for a fact that me and Director Davis had spoke about, it was never bidded out. They just sent somebody up there to did it, but the work itself was not bidded out. So the open bid law was not done right. It supposed to be bidded out, not just send somebody up there to do the work. That's supposed to be bidded. And you signed, which back when Swope was the operation manager. And you wanna know how I know? That was one of my jobs. I fight it up in here because they hooked this lady to the water hydrant to give her water, and she carried us to the news about it. Months and months went by. So the name that should have been on there was not yours, and you signed it. And you was not on the board during that time. You shouldn't have signed it. And see, if that goes back to what I'm saying before, I would doubt the chairperson do what he want to do, when he want to do, and how he want to do it. It's against the law not to send that bid out. That's why Mr. Davis did not sign it. Because him and Swope decided they were going to send who they wanted out there for the contract. That should have been bidded.
Of course, I wasn't aware of that.
But of course, yeah, you were. Because I was sitting last month when we were sitting here, Director Well, Mr. Bill Swokes was our operation manager.
No, I was not.
Okay. Well, before Mr. Mike came, we had another operation manager, and his name was Bill Swokes.
I know him.
And I didn't ask you, I know I actually was you on the board.
I said, no, I was not.
Okay, but you signed a resolution that you should not even sign.
Well, I-
That program failed because it did go out for a bid. Quit you touching that woman, that woman gotta mind her own.
He didn't touch me.
Ooh, what?
Anyway, I'm telling you, if you signed something, because see, the reason why I'm telling you this, because I was accused of the same thing. But they didn't have proof that I done it. But I have proof that you done it. And that open bid law was violated. And that's why Mr. Davis told me he didn't sign it. Because they didn't send a bid out, they just sent a contract out. And now they sent, now he asking for it to be paid for. Now, that's been over a year ago.
She's waiting on a response from Dr.
I thought I was.
I don't have a response.
Okay, attorney. As it was stated last month, in certain things, if you are not on the board, you can't go back and pull something that's almost a year old or a year old and ask a director to come step it in and sign. Because me and Director Davis had this conversation. And that's why he didn't sign. That's why it was stupid. Because what they do a resolution, call or text each one of us to come by and sign it. You stated that you can do it that way. But that's the way it was done. Mr. Davis refused to sign it, but they got the new lady to sign it. So now, she done signed something that she wasn't even on the board. And it's illegal. Correct?
She signed something and ratified something, and someone's on the board, that would be improper. I don't know the exact context of what we're talking
You
about.
should.
Let
We
me
have
refresh
to look into it.
let me refresh your memory. Let me refresh your memory. Back in October, when this lady went, because everything I find out that goes on with this board, I find out through Channel 15 or Channel 10 News. That's how I find out what's going on.
I'll take you on J for the 591, sure.
I was at home. The lady at Texon came on the news saying that she was getting dirty water out of the fire hydrant. We had a busted leak up there, and they did 17 feet to get to that pipe. Bill Swope was our director manager at the time. And I have the minutes that October when it went down. And here it is, April, which they had, Ms. Moore signed it for them to be paid, which it shouldn't have been paid because it was never bidded out. It only 4 people should have been able to vote on that resolution. And according to you, you can't call somebody to come by here and sign. It has to be did at the board, in front of the board. But this is what was sent to us last month to come by and sign it. Need directors to come by and sign it. Ms. Moore signed it. This is a job was never beat out. On the 4 members that's left could have voted on it. We didn't get a chance to vote on it. We were just asked to come by and sign it.
As a purchase agreement or the payment order? Invoice. I'd be happy to give an opinion on it if I had all, be sure I read everything, because I don't want to be misquoted. What I did say, just more related to you, was there was a past pattern in practice where items would come for consideration, that were not voted on by the board, and board members would come sign it. I didn't say that, and I believe that to be the case. I'm not exactly sure, hear what Ms. Moore said, I'd like to just understand all the facts and read the documents before I render any opinion.
It was a resolution. I went by what you said, we supposed to do by the
You
resolution.
can't approve resolutions or actions unless the board votes on those resolutions. It's always my,
Okay. So, I submit that that resolution does not go forth because Mrs. Moore was not on the board at that time. Because only 4 people could have voted on that resolution. And Mr. Davis is not one of them. Director Davis. And that resolution was never bid. So the open bid law was against the law. They did something that was against the law. And still doing stuff that is against the law. And I say we need, as 5 board members, as I say every month, over a year, that everything according to our attorney, it was did wrong. We need to vote on it. It needs to be brought to us, and then we need to vote before anything be executed. Because right now, Ms. Moore, I sympathize with you because you assigned something you should have even signed because you was not on the board. That's something Director Davis, myself, Director, and Chairperson, Secretary Treasurer, and the Chairperson already signed it. And Mr. Davis refused to sign it. It should have failed. That's what I'm trying to say. Director Johnson have his vote, and I have mine. Ms. Moore's name should have been nowhere on that resolution. And she has not been on the board but a month. I can understand it. But we told her last month about signing stuff that she do not post to sign. So I'm asking you again to turn around, what do we need to do? Because the simple fact is, it wasn't beaten out. Our new chairperson that signed something that she shouldn't have signed, which is against the law. And you supposed to be the lawyer for all 5 of us as a whole, as the board. So what do we need to do? Either further, if chairperson signed it, Ms. Moore signed it, Secretary of Treasury signed it, let them pay it. It wasn't bid. It was not, you know, that's just like right now. I know somebody that might have to do certain things, but I know it's the law that it has to be bidded on. It has to come before a vote. I can't just send somebody I know out there and do something and say, I'll take it. It's not your money to do that. So, Mr. Janae, do you have that resolution that came,
No, ma'am, I don't
that she
think-
signed because she shouldn't have signed it?
I don't know anything about a resolution.
Who would, Ms. Janae?
A resolution, or you mean a requisition?
The requisition, whatever it is, the requisition
go
and that
through
payment,
account.
yeah, that was
All
not figured out.
Yeah, all requisitions go through accounting, so,
So
Who, yeah.
who job is that now?
that's Ms. Lewis and Ms. Wright, is an accountant.
Could you get a copy of that, Mr. Attorney?
yes, ma'am. Let me read it all. I hear what you're saying, Ms. Doyle. Let me just read it all, get the documents, whatever they may be, did or not did. Let me look at it. I'll get y'all opinion.
But I would like to have a copy. And once you get it, could you send it to all 5 board members?
Happy to, absolutely.
Because to me, I feel like stuff is being pulled from the back that was not, and they having a new lady to sign it so it could take effect. When Director Davis was here, he did not sign it. So that means anything they might wanna do from the back, they try to bring it to the front.
So, I heard what you said.
Somebody said, Lord, that's a resolution.
Item 5C, Director Heidelberg.
No report.
I'm not surprised.
5B, Director Moore.
You like a sneaky bastard.
5E, Director Bunt.
Sneaky ass bastard.
Item 6, Personnel. Consideration of a motion to accept Jennifer Axe, fiscal clerk 1, resignation in good standing effective April 1st, 2021. So
Move the proper section, we accept item 16 as printed. There are requests.
What was, excuse me, Chairman? If I may ask, what was Ms. Jennifer, Axe's reason for resigning?
she got a better office.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Roll call, please.
Director Johnson,
Yes.
Director Dole,
Yes.
Director Heidelberg,
Yes.
Director Moore,
Yes.
Director Bunch.
Yes.
Item 6B, consideration of a motion to accept Joseph Terry Jr., Secretary 1 terms to pay his shortages from his pension money. Yes, sir.
Speak up, Chairman, we can't hear
I
you.
don't quite understand what they're talking about on this Georgia from this pension.
In his, resignation letter, which is in the, package, he had that also on a line item that he was asking, he was asking for his shortages to be taken out of what he has put into the pension since he will not receive it back. This is his letter.
Return is what he was part of the pension.
Yes.
We have a policy on our pension program that, as it exists right now, if you haven't contributed to the pension program for 5 years and you resign or terminate with, you don't get, you will get your money back. It kicks in after 5 years. That's what the law, that's the rule right now, so. We can accept his resignation without the pension.
That is something that, has been in question for months now. I know since, October of last year, there was a representative here from Principal, the retirement fund, people that manages the retirement fund here at Prichard Water Works and Sewer Board. We had this issue to come up back in October. And at that time, I asked and requested that that policy be looked into by both the board meeting as well as the employees that wanted to come and attend. But however, here it is, April the 11th, that's about 6 months now, and that meeting still hasn't happened. Is there any way that you, Attorney Ross, and Operations Manager, Mr. McClintock, can make that happen where you get Principal, set up a time and a date again that was requested back in October by myself, that all 5 board members, as well as all of the employees who pay into that pension fund, are able to come and attend at a venue that will safely accommodate each of us. Is that something that can be done so that we will not keep running into this same situation over and over again?
Yeah, my only comment, Mr. Johnson, is where would the board choose to have such a meeting?
Okay.
I mean, we know there are venues, but it would need some help from y'all.
Okay, Mr. McClintock, if you would have your assistant to work on that to find somewhere for us to have that meeting, and, we will go from there.
It's gonna have to accommodate
At least.
Yes.
at least.
Yes. Okay,
And
is
it'd be
that,
a special board meeting if all 5 board members are present.
yes,
So just talking process, you have to call a special board meeting for X day, X time, and X location. And of course, if the public would like to come, they would have a right to participate or at least be present.
yes.
I think principal folks would be happy to do that, to schedule a time that works for them and with the board members in a location.
Thank you. And if we could have a time frame from your assistant, Mr. McClintock, within the next 7 days, if we could hear and have something scheduled, a venue found and a date set.
It may take a little bit longer, we're super short here. She's the only one working the front most of the time, so right now,
He and I work together, at least so that Mr. Clintock can have the information from principal folks and generally their availability. They'd probably be better, Mr. Johnson, if they came in person.
Yes.
At least some of their presentations have been by Zoom or virtual, but we will ask the gentleman and whomever come in person.
Okay. If he was here, he didn't have a problem with it.
I don't
Thank
think he
you,
does.
thank you.
Can we withdraw the motion to approve this and then just motion to table it?
Table?
It wasn't a motion. There wasn't a motion for 60.
We haven't had a motion. Well, I offer a motion that we table 6B.
Second,
Move proper second, that we table 6B. Are there any questions? Roll call, please.
Director Johnson,
yes.
Director Dole,
Yes.
Director Heidelberg,
Yes.
Director Moore,
Yes.
Director Bunt,
Yes.
Item 6C, consideration of a motion to accept Joseph Perry Jr., Secretary 1, resignation in good standing effective April the 7th, 2022.
So moved. Move proper second, we accept item 6C as print. Are there any questions?
Yes. Here's the name, when was, the employee, how long have
I'm not certain, I think he came in April of 2021, is what I think. I'm not sure of his actual date.
Any other questions? Roll call, please.
Director Johnson,
Yes.
Director Dole,
Yes.
Director Heidelberg,
Yes.
Director Moore,
Yes.
Director Bunt.
Yes.
Item 6D, consideration of a motion to accept Patrick Manassas, Equipment Operator 1, resignation not in good standing effective March 21st, 2022. He didn't put in the proper 2 weeks as required by the Local County Personnel Board. He turned his letter in the same day that he told the supervisor he was coming.
You said he didn't turn in his, 2 weeks notice or something like that?
Yes, he did.
Okay, he did miss the one that we approved. Did she turn in 2 weeks notice?
Yes, it's on, the dates are on their letters, and so you stamp their letters when they turn them in.
Is where?
It's stamped on their letters. Ms. Jennifer, turned hers in on March 21st. Mr. Joseph turned his in on March 24th. And Mr. Manassas turned his in on, March March 21st, and he put that date on here as well.
Is the same thing, the last day you,
Yes, ma'am, March 21st, he turned in the same time, the same day, at the end of the day.
Let's check where we is.
I need a motion for 6D for Mr. Manassas.
Ms. Janae, what was Mr. Manassas' reason for giving that same day resignation?
On his letter, he just says he was resigning from his position, and he just said for personal reasons, that's all he wrote on there.
Thank
I
you.
don't know, I'm gonna have to speak to the direct supervisor or something.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
who is it, direct supervisor?
Mr. Carlos Butler and Mr. Woodrow May.
Operation manager, you find out what was his personal reason? Okay, because I come to you and let me know what's his personal reason.
Would you mind communicating that to
Okay.
all five board members? Thank you.
Yeah, indeed, we had a, motion. Did we get a second, Mr. Daniel?
No, just a motion, just second.
I motion that we send item 6D, Mr. Patrick.
Second. Move properly second, we accept item 6D as read. There any questions? Roll call, please.
Director Johnson,
I vote no at this time, due to the question, in hand of why the sudden and, short notice of Mr. Manassas' resignation.
Director Dole,
I vote no, because I would like to know what his personal reasons why he, turned in, because, and I also would like to know when did he start, that he all of a sudden just gave it up. So right now, I vote no.
Director Heidelberg,
Yes.
Director Moore,
Yes.
Director Bunch,
Yes.
Just today, before you, I want to request the board members to ask their questions when we get to the question part of the procedure. Wait until the chairman asks if there are any questions, and you can go and give the question. Go ahead.
Item 6E, consideration of a motion to open 3 office assistant 1 positions through the Mobile County Personnel Board.
So moved.
Second.
Moving properly second, we accept item 6E as printed. Are there any questions?
Yes, I have a question, Chairman. Mr. McClintock, or whomever, can you give the board a description of the office assistant 1 position?
This one, they work, primarily work in front counter. They're used wherever they need to be, in the communication room. Assistant Ms. Janae in the building. Mainly it's gonna be the front counter is what we're looking for. We said we're shorthanded. We were shorthanded already, and only have 2 more leads. It's primarily gonna be their position, front counter. All they're hoping for.
Thank you.
Roll call, please.
Director Johnson,
Yes.
Director Dole,
Yes.
Director Heidelberg,
Yes.
Director Moore,
Yes.
Director Bunch.
Yes.
Item 6F, consideration of a motion to open 1 promotional office assistant 2 position through the Mobile County Personnel Board.
So moved.
Second.
Moving properly second, we accept item 6F as printed. Are there any questions?
Yes, what is, Mr. McClintock, what is, the meaning of the promotional office assistant two position?
That's through the personnel board, that's their terminology for hiring people or promoting them, it's promotional. If it was, not promotional, it would be, competitive through everybody in Brooklyn.
Okay.
This particular position was for my assistant, because she's moved up and taken on a lot more duties,
Okay.
and that was, trying to move her up from, she's been here 7 years, that's what she is now, so. Keep employees, we're gonna have to start promoting and taking care of them, not without losing them. Yes.
Thank you.
Sarah, you got a question? Roll call, please.
Director Johnson,
Yes.
Director Dole,
Yes.
Director Heidelberg,
Yes.
Director Moore,
Yes.
Director Bunt.
Yes.
Item 6G, consideration of a motion to open one equipment operator one position through Mobile County Personnel Board.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and properly seconded, we accept item 6G as printed. There any questions?
Operation manager, what is the equip operation one?
He, operates backhoes, trackhoes, dump trucks, anything that requires, CDL.
So he's gonna be like,
He's gonna be
a
taking the,
mechanic, like,
no ma'am, he's taking the place of Mr. Patrick, Nassas, left. He was an equipment operator one, so we need to fill that position. He has a CDL commercial driver's license, so he'll be operating, so not working with some, but operating
equip.
the equipment, yes, ma'am.
You have a question? Roll call, please.
Director Johnson,
Yes.
Director Dole,
Yes.
Director Heidelberg,
Yes.
Director Moore,
Yes.
Director Bunt.
Yes.
Item 6H, consideration of a motion to open 3 promotional treatment operator 2 positions through the Mobile County Personnel Board.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and properly seconded, we approve item 6H as printed. Are there any questions?
Yes, what, Mr. McClintock, can you explain to me the treatment plant operator two position?
Yes, sir, that's the operators that state certified through AIM. We got one that works at, Carlos Forest, one that works at Stanley Brooks, and the other one does our water bills, and water towers and all the sampling and MRO reports. She is a water operator. And all hold grade 4 license in the state of Alabama, and to have those kind of people is very hard to come by. And, you need to, like, it goes back to taking care of your employees, you need to promote these, employees to keep them. That's the issue right now in the state of Alabama. Most of your operators is going where the money's at. I've got these guys already looking at places to go. They're gonna be just like people up front, just looking for more money. So we need to take care of these employees. They are highly qualified. Like I said, they're grade 4, and that's the highest you can be in the state of Alabama as far as your certification. That's the purpose of this, just trying to hold on to it. Now we will be out of compliance. When they leave, we'll be paid to be fine. Another issue. We don't need that.
Okay, they already doing that with, my question is, what are you talking about? You said they get paid more. What are you talking about, the pay, or what they are getting now to, when you give us promotion? What are you talking about, the pay?
I think the operator 2 steps up 10%, it's 10% of what they make now.
Okay.
We're looking at maybe $1 or $2.
Okay, what they're making now, that's what I'm saying, from what they're making now, what they going to.
A couple of them have been here a little bit, so they've gotten cost of living raises. I don't know the exact number kind of off the top of my head.
Yeah, but can you give me a round?
Like I said, it may be $2 an hour at the very most. I don't know if it's gonna be that much.
So you think it might be $2 an hour more than what
Or
they make
less,
now?
it's gonna be $2 or less. Yes, ma'am. And they're still way underpaid for areas around us, the pay they pay, they're still way underpaid.
receive raises, you saying they get paid less now. Well, how often do, how many years do they have to be here before they receive, the $2 or less,
Normally it's under their duties, what they're doing at the plant. That's how long, it takes for raises, they're over the plant, so they already should have been operator 2 or operator 3. I mean, they're way behind when they should have been. But I think there was a cost of living given last year, and I'm sure they got, I wouldn't hear them, I'm sure they got it. I'm speaking of what I've heard,
Any other questions? Roll call, please.
Director Johnson,
Yes.
Director Dole,
yes.
Director Heidelberg,
Yes.
Director Moore,
Yes.
Director Bunch.
Yes.
Item 6I, consideration of a motion to hire one promotional lift station mechanic position through the Mobile County Personnel Board.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and properly second, that we accept item 6I as print. Any questions? Roll call, please.
Excuse me, I have a question, Mr. Albert. Mr. McClintock, would you explain to me the lift station mechanic position?
Yes, they go around working on a pump station, they pull pumps, they work on panels, change out floats, do overflow reports and SSOs. We have one man, the one I'm trying to get, he's been, PSW1 for quite a few years, he's been doing his job duty for quite a few years. I'm just trying to get things, in order the way they need to be.
Okay. And, this mechanic position, this particular gentleman that's doing this lift station mechanic, would he be, would he be able to work on other equipment such as?
He has a collections certification to the state of Alabama, so his main job is to work in the pump station, pull the pumps in place, and like I said, repair the panels and replace floats and stuff like that. It's just lift station.
Does he have anyone else that works with him? Is he the only gentleman that's currently doing this?
There's one other man that was hired, right after I started, he was already approved, because apparently Roland had left. Yeah, it's 2 of them, we have a bunch of pump stations.
Okay,
They stay busy every day on the pump stations.
got you. So is that reasonable? I mean, is this working out with what you think and you're seeing according to the SSOs? Cause it's raining outside now,
Yeah, and
very heavy.
that's just due to the infrastructure of Prichard water, takes on a lot of rainwater, on overflow in our sewers. Until we can get the whole system redone, that's gonna be the outcome.
Any other questions? Roll call, please.
Director Johnson,
Yes.
Director Dole,
Yes.
Director Heidelberg,
Yes.
Director Moore,
Yes.
Director Bunch.
Yes.
Item 7, status reports, Mr. Michael McClintock, Water and Sewer Operations Manager.
I've got J.J. Burton's been calling us every day on those bids for the vehicles over there. I need to get approval for, I know you said you wanted to go see if they're over there. They're broke down, they're still sitting right there where they was. They're fixing to withdraw their bid, is what he said. It's got a month. And they was the only ones that did it, we were advertising for 2 months.
Wait. The reason why I asked that is because we purchased 16 batteries. And it's supposed to be looked at how we can do, how we go about, that's what our attorney supposed to look at it. How we go about doing a envelope bid. As fire board members again, we was not told anything to sit down. Our attorney supposed to be looking into, was it legal for us to do that? The next thing we get to the board meeting, which we didn't have one in February, we get here in March, They got a bid. A bid should have went out, I don't know, right now, what was written up to send the bid out, none of that was given to me.
It was approved and voted in the meeting
No.
back in April.
Our attorney, back in January, supposed been looking at, was it legal for us to do that? And get back with us. It was never got back with us. Then we didn't have one in February. We get him March the 14th. And here's an envelope coming from J and J. I don't know what was read out, what was sent out. I don't know anything. I'm speaking for myself. I can't speak for nothing but 4 votes. And once again, out of respect for Ms. Moore, she was not on the board at that time. But anyway, there was nothing supposed went out to it. Came back before 5 board members on what we was gonna do. When we got here, it was tabled in March. That J&J, because I asked for it to be tabled, so I can look at the vehicle that was, the list you gave me. I looked at it, we bought 16 barrels, even a boat quart barrel. And if it's sitting there and not runnable, why we buying barrels?
I think they worked on these vehicles trying to get them.
But you, this is the way my mechanic that I know does things. He don't go out and buy brand new barrel for every truck, cause he got to look at it.
Right.
He might buy 1 barrel and he tests them cars that ain't no good with that 1 barrel. We bought 16 barrels.
I think they went in various trucks.
But see, that's why I wanna go over
Not
there.
just the
That's what I
one
asked you,
barrel.
could you meet me tomorrow? So I can look at it. Because nothing supposed to went out till it came back to all 5 board members. Somebody jumped the gun on that. Because that was, and I'm sorry, mister, that you came out, but this is what's supposed to happen. How I know that what was on the letter when it went out. We didn't get it, we didn't approve it, it just went out.
I thought back when Mr. Davis was here, it was approved to bid these vehicles
No.
on.
When Mr. Davis was here, Mr. Davis made the statement that he wanted to take the other one we talked about off,
Yeah.
and whichever way it went, which one would give the most money. But our attorney's supposed to be looking into it and getting back with all 5 of us. Did you get back with all 5 of us, Mr. Attorney?
No, Ms. Stoll, I don't think I did.
Okay, so if he didn't get back with all 5 of us, nothing should ever went out about the private bid, the envelope bid, or whatever you want to call it. Nobody's supposed to be notified until it came back to all 5 of us. And we voted on it. We never voted on it.
Was just
What?
misunderstanding on my part, yeah.
Well, it never came back to the board for a vote. That's why I asked you tomorrow, could me and you get together,
Yes, sir.
and you take me to the plant, or I'll meet you to the plant, but I wanna see if those vehicles still there, because it was never voted on to be dispersed no kind of way yet. And as I know, people tired of hearing it over and over again, but I am tired of sitting up here and walk through the door, I got to vote this. This supposed to be done, but somebody done jumped the gun and did what he wanna do, because he the chairperson. Somebody going around telling, University of over here, he's the president, he's doing what he wanna do. If we didn't even 1 person on the board, it wouldn't be fine. You don't do what you wanna do, this not right. A lot of things is not doing right, and this is one of them. Because we didn't vote to make this list. Somebody just made this list because they wanted to make this list, but we didn't vote for this list.
Do you have anything else, Mr. McClintock?
I have a question. Mr. McClintock, are the vehicles
vehicles still on the property?
Yes, ma'am.
Have any of them been moved?
No, ma'am. They're on our.
I got a photo of every one of them.
Excuse me?
I have a photo of each one of them. I personally inspected them. The legal notice put in the paper for a month and a half. 5 publications. So,
Okay, so they will be there tomorrow for Mr. Dodd to look at.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Do you have anything else, Mr.
And before you move on, Mr. McLean, talk to something else, I also asked on last, meeting back in March, what is the distance between Purvis, Mississippi and Lumberton, Mississippi? And Attorney Ross, if you could explain to me, about a chairperson, but a board member using their position, for personal gain. Because I felt that it was, strange that if it had been bidded out publicly, that we only got one bid for those trucks who a lot of people, even here in this area, were interested in. So, first of all, I need to know, Mr. Chairman, I have asked you not to, I am speaking,
You cannot attack.
I am speaking.
With name and order, and you are out of order.
I was not.
If you cannot do that, you need to stop talking about that and go on to your next subject.
Mr. Johnson, excuse me. Sir, what's your name?
James Durham.
Excuse me?
James Durham.
Okay.
If you'll look back at your records, my company has bought y'all surplus for the last probably 7-8 years. The last time y'all sold stuff, I don't know any of these people. I've never talked to this guy, any of these people. I do remember Mr. Heidelberg. I remember the face. My company has bought the surplus. We do this all over the southeastern United States, sir. I don't know what y'all are even talking about. I inspected this. I've been there. I've called 27 times to Miss Therese Mitchell to find out, either my or secretary or mine, because we've been waiting a month to find out whether we got these or not. I can give you a list of over 100 agencies. I do this all over Mississippi, Alabama, Louisiana. So this is not uncommon for us to be down here buying stuff. And again, you can look back. I've been to the facility. My guys, I think we bought 11 units last time y'all sold stuff. We didn't get all of them, I don't think. Anyway, regardless, that's what I got to tell you about it. I appreciate you being here.
Who did you say? What is your name?
JJ Merchant.
Okay, all right, good.
JJ Merchant. Our dealer name in Mississippi is our used dealer license is at Lynn's Enterprise. We've dealt with y'all before. No big deal to us. We either get them or not, but I do think that we deserve some kind of answer.
No, well, maybe you can help me with that question. What is the distance between Purvis and Lumberton, Mississippi?
Probably 20 miles.
About 20 miles.
Yeah. Lumberton is, in the same county. I don't know, and I have no idea what Lumberton has to do with our situation here. I live in Hattiesburg, where our office is actually more in Oak Grove, Hattiesburg, Oak Grove area than it is Purvis. It's just a Purvis address. So.
Thank you.
But I have a question, out of respect to you, and you said you was in the newspaper about a month?
I got the legal notice right here if you want to look at it. It was in
What
the Mobile Press Register, yes.
What I'm trying to get you to understand, nothing should have went in Mobile Press Register till after we had made the vote to put it there.
Yeah.
We never voted. We were sitting back waiting on our attorney to get back with us, so we could decide which way to go with that. But I understand, we didn't have a meeting in February. I understand that, but my problem was with it is that it was tabled back when we first got started, because we were waiting on something back from the attorney. So it shouldn't have went out until our attorney came back. We didn't have a meeting in February. He should have came back to us before not got back with us, so nothing that put out, whoever put it there shouldn't have put it there. And I apologize to you that
Well, we
you've
have a
been
service.
sitting back waiting,
We have a
because you ain't
service
been
that
waiting by yourself.
provides
I've been
us
waiting
legal
for our attorney to
notices
get
for
back
all
with
over
us.
the southeast, so that's how we know about something being sold. So.
You got anything else, Mr. McLean?
Yes, sir. I'll update y'all on the AMI meters. We got 8,434 in. Still have about 1,200 not complete yet. AC. Thursday, we have court. We still about closing the office at 12 o'clock because employees have to be at court. Nobody works in Front County. We need to see about 12 o'clock. Shutting the office down.
Can I make a comment about that? Before you make that decision, there's a matter regarding that case, the executive session. I want to update y'all just on a few things before you make that decision. Of course, whatever you want to do, there's a few things I want to get.
Thank you, Attorney Ross, and I do have a comment about that, due to just what, Attorney Ross will speak to us about. We are, with the office is shut down, then we are losing revenue, and we are, have been in this constant debate about we have money, we don't have money, so that would definitely cause us to lose money. My thing of it is, Mr. McClintock, everyone who is here in the building has worked the front counter. We do have, Ms. Leggett that's in the back. We have the young lady that's in the radio room. We have Ms. Mitchell that's here. The back can close. The back office can close. This is my suggestion to my fellow 4 board members, reminding them of our fiduciary duty here at Prichard Waterworks and Sewer Board, that the back of the office be closed, but the front remain open. Bring those young ladies that are in the radio room, Ms. Leggett, I'm not for sure what her position is, and we have Ms. Mitchell, and they work the front while the supervisors are away.
Well, Sharice is off that night. Miss Teresa was having to pull duty up front, Mr. Knight, could help in the communication room. She has to stay in the communication room. So it leaves you nobody else. When them two leave, we can have a communication lady, and maybe, she said Leggett don't work in front.
She hasn't, this is a new
It's a new
system, so
computer
she
system.
hasn't worked the front counter on this new system as far as taking payment.
Well, as our fiduciary duty is, I have confidence in Ms. Leggett that if she's brought up front and she sees that new system, that she would be able to catch on between now and Thursday. And, Sharice will be here and can serve as supervisor and help if Sharice is off. Sharice is off. Well, my suggestion again with our fiduciary duty is that, you, Ms. Janae, or Ms. Teresa Lewis, work with Ms. Leggett, and the back be closed, and also work with the young lady in the radio room. The back be closed, but the front of the office remain open so that we can collect revenue. Because we have had, an issue in the past where we have lost a board member, and it was requested that the office be closed during the time of his celebration services, and it could not be done. So I definitely feel that the front does not need to be closed for the matter at hand on Thursday. And that is my suggestion to my fellow board members.
Just address this as the attorney said, after we have our executive session, and we will determine how to do it.
Okay, that's fine.
Next slide.
Also on the card of people, we forgot to put it on the agenda, but the warehouses still need 2 unskilled laborers, not a lot of people. them up if we can. There's not a personnel board position, it's just unskilled labor, see if they'll work out, give them six months or whatever it is. They're shorthanded, and they got another, and we're losing another man over there this month. Middle of this month, and maybe another week or two, he told her.
How many unskilled laborers?
It's two for over there. Now, we'll pull some from the wastewater plant, try to use them up here for metering. Which three? Sorry? Two for the warehouse. For now, if we can get at least two.
You don't need any for any place.
Not right now. Like I said, I'm gonna move some people around from the wastewater plant, try to use them over here, give them a little bit of cross training. Also, we needed a treatment plant operator two part-time to fill in for these guys, like when they miss them, I would miss them, take a day off or something. We have no operator on duty. We need to get a part-time operator if we can find one, just to fill in, to help out for the wastewater plant.
Can you explain how that works? You've done that?
Yes, it's a part-time job, it's through the personnel board, they gotta go through the personnel board, and they just like a regular employee, but they just don't get benefits, they're not full-time, they don't get full 40 hours. They just, come in and help out, work the plants, either plant, as needed.
How many of those?
I'd like to get two of them if we can find them, which I don't know if we're gonna be able to find them. We might not even find one, but if it's open, at least I can look.
Okay, with the Senator Board, I'm gonna offer a motion that we try to hire two unskilled laborers for the warehouse.